Hi, my name is Brian Bruckner and I own Big Swing and Cycles here in San Francisco. We've prepared a brief informational video on the Bionx e-bike conversion kits that we sell. We want to provide you with some core information about the Bionx system. In addition, we also want to talk about e-bikes in general. We found most customers looking at e-bikes have many questions, and not surprisingly, most of those questions are quite similar. So in a general sense, today we want to cover system design and architecture of the Bionx system, talk about the features, how to operate the system, some of the common Bionx questions that we field on a regular basis, and probably most importantly, why we feel that Bionx is really the best e-bike solution out there today. So let's now talk about Bionx specifically. When we talk about the system architecture of a typical Bionx system, they all have the same basic design. You've got a wheel with a motor, you've got a battery, and you've got a controller. The difference in the systems lies in the size of the battery, the range of the battery, and the motor. And on that point, bigger is not always better. The smaller 350 watt motor does a really good job for most people. Let's talk about the motor for a moment. There are two motor options. Comes as a complete rear wheel assembly with the motor built into it. So when we're installing a Bionx system, we remove the bike's current or existing rear wheel and replace it with the new Bionx rear wheel that has the motor in it. It's available as either 350 watt or 500 watts. The 350 watt motor does work well even on the San Francisco hills. Some customers that have a lot of hills, or maybe are planning on doing some mountain biking, might opt for the more powerful 500 watt motor. All of the motors are silent, they're vibration free, and they also have a regenerative braking feature. The 500 watt motor is right here, so you can see it's quite a bit different looking than this one right here. This is the new D series motor, and like I said, this one is the most powerful motor that Bionx makes currently. Let's move on and talk about the batteries. Batteries are all lithium ion. They recharge by simply plugging the battery right into a standard 110 volt wall outlet. The battery cells inside the battery pack are made by Sony, so it's a very high quality, long-lasting battery. You get approximately 800 charging cycles out of the battery, so you can deplete it and recharge it roughly 800 times, and that's a nominal estimate. It's not written in stone. Most Bionx systems have a range of somewhere between 50 and 80 miles. Again, that's a nominal estimate. If you're going up hills all the time and at max power, you might get less than that. If you manage the power smartly by looking at the gauge on the controller, you can get substantially more range. The batteries all lock onto either the frame, or in the case of this bike back here, into an integrated rear rack. The batteries can be removed and taken inside the house to charge, or maybe if you store the bike in the garage, you want to charge it inside the house, the batteries can easily be taken off the bike. There's also an accessory port on the battery that allows you to power things like a light, or perhaps a USB charger for a phone, or any 6-volt accessory. So that's a handy feature that Bionx has built into the battery.
Right here we're looking at the Bionx control system, which consists of your main control console as well as a remote unit here, which has a plus/minus key and a red throttle button. I'm going to go ahead and turn the system on now by touching the top left button. It'll beep several times, do a countdown, and now the system's ready to operate. You can see in the center we have a bicycle icon. That means at the moment it's just that, it's a bicycle. It's not offering us any assistance at all. We can use either the remote key on the right, or we can use these plus and minus buttons right here to put it into assist mode. So if I hit the plus key, we've got 4 levels, and you can see we now get the A icon, which means it's assisting us. We've got 35, 75, 150, or 300% assistance. 300% assistance is a lot of assistance. requires very little effort even on hills when you're in the 300% assistance mode. In addition to an assist mode, we also can put it into a regenerative mode by hitting the negative key. So we'll see that the bars start to disappear, go back to a bicycle. Now we've got 4 levels of what we call generator mode, where you turn the electric motor into an actual generator. So let's say you climb to the top of a big hill and you've got a big downhill coming up. You can put this into the maximum regenerative mode, and that motor will act like a brake and put that energy back into the battery. It's a great feature. It means that you don't have to do very much braking. It slows the bike down automatically, and it puts all that energy back into the battery to extend your battery range. There are a few other buttons and features on the console worthy of note. We have a battery gauge right here. We have an odometer showing us our distance. We have a little reset key, so if I hold this down right here, you're going to see that 25.4 go to 0. We have our off and on key. Also got a backlight. If I hold this down, you're going to see it say light on, and now the backlight's on so you can see at night. And if this were a system with a rear rack, you would actually have a light on the rack that illuminated so cars can see you at nighttime. We can hold this back down and it'll turn that off. That button also turns on an accessory port that will allow you to do things like charge your cell phone or power a front light as well. And then of course we have a speedometer right here as well.
So how does the Bionx work on a typical day-to-day basis? Well, it's quite simple. As we showed you with the controller a moment ago, we simply turn the Bionx on. We'll hear it beep. We'll hear it do its countdown. We set our assist level. We hop on the bike and we pedal, and Bionx does the rest. It'll tend to keep your effort similar to walking when it's at the highest level. So even going up big hills, the amount of exertion you're going to experience is going to be similar to that of walking. So one of the first questions everyone asks about Bionx is, how does it handle San Francisco hills? This thing torches hills. All the Bionx systems have excellent hill climbing capability. Works best when you use your gears to help the motor out. The Bionx system does rely on that, so the same way you use gears to help you climb a hill on a regular bike is going to apply on a Bionx. So when you do go up steeper hills, you are going to want to shift into a lower gear to help the motor out. You want to use common sense. If you do pick the steepest, gnarliest hills in the city, then it's going to be a little slower. You'll still get up it fairly easily, but you're going to be going slower. So most people will pick routes that have hills that are somewhat moderate in grade to keep their average speed up. Headwinds, bike is fantastic in a headwind. It helps you push right through. It's kind of like having a constant tailwind. Have a lot of customers that use Bionx to haul kids either in trailers or on cargo bikes. So they're great for cargo bikes and for hauling kids in trailers. Keep in mind though, this is not a scooter, not a motorcycle. You're not going to be able to, hold down the throttle and smoke the rear tire. That is kind of not what an e-bike is all about. It tops out at about 20 miles an hour, meaning once you get to 20 miles an hour, it's no longer going to give you assistance, but at 20 miles an hour, you're moving along at a pretty good clip, so you're really not going to need any assistance. Another question we hear all the time is what kind of bike can I use Bionx on? And the real beauty of Bionx, maybe one of the best things about it, is that virtually any bike we can install Bionx on. We've put Bionx systems on recumbents, on cargo bikes, on small ladies' bikes, on mountain bikes, on road bikes, on hybrid bikes. We've got a variety of different ways to mount the system, either on the down tube here or in a rear rack mounted battery, as in the case of this bike right here. On ladies' step-through type frames, we'll tend to use the rear rack systems. On cargo bikes, a lot of times we'll fabricate brackets to get a real clean installation. So virtually any bike we can outfit with a Bionx system. This is an example of one of the funner bikes we can add a Bionx to.
It's basically a European street bike with a rear rack mount 350-watt Bionx system. Even though it has a classic look of a steel bike, it's actually a lightweight aluminum frame, so it actually ends up being one of the lighter Bionxes that we assemble as a complete system. Here's another example of a bike we've equipped with a Bionx system. This has the traditional down tube battery system on it, on what we'd call a comfort bike, a very upright, easy to ride, smooth bike. We even put some bigger tires on it. We also use this as our shop demo.
What about charging the battery? The best practice for charging the battery is to deplete it to at least about 50%. It's also a good idea to let it cool. If you've been out riding for a while, the battery will tend to warm up a little bit as you're operating the system. So if you can wait until it cools down a bit before plugging it into the charger, and then it usually takes anywhere from 4 to 5 hours to charge the battery all the way back up. So it's a real simple process. Plug the charger into the wallet, charge it for 4 or 5 hours, good to go. I want to talk a little bit now about why we're so big on Bionx and why we're such big Bionx advocates as the best e-bike solution. First off, we vetted this company. We have confidence in the organization. We have a lot at stake. We've got scores of these systems out there running around the city, and we want happy customers that don't have to come back here all the time with problems. So we've made absolutely sure that this is a rock solid system. Bionx is an established, experienced company. They have many years experience engineering systems, manufacturing, designing the systems, so they know what they're doing. The product is made in North America. I think that's a big bonus in terms of quality and availability. The systems now have a 3-year warranty, which I believe is the best in the business. It's backed by a company called Magna Automotive. They're a $34 billion company, 60-year-old company. That's a pretty big deal. So you know if you buy one of these systems, you've got someone standing behind it with a good long track record and the resources to support you after the sale. Another big thing, I touched on this earlier, but you know, you can pick any bike you like. A lot of the other solutions kind of force you into one particular bike, and maybe you like that bike, maybe you don't. With Bionx, you can pick a really cool bike that you like, that you're stoked on, and then we can install the system on that bike. The Bionx system is portable, meaning if you grow tired of that bike, you can sell that bike, give it to somebody else, get rid of it, find another bike, and we can install the Bionx on that bike as well. And then the after-sales support, that's really important. Bionx has a pretty good dealer base worldwide. We have remote diagnostic tools where we can actually plug in your system and communicate with the Bionx factory, troubleshoot it, find out if the problem is in the controller, the battery, or the motor, and get the support we need, the fix that we need, usually remotely, without having to send the product all the way back for some type of warranty repair. So a lot of good things in terms of, you know, the company's resources, its history, its capabilities, and its after-sales support. So what's next? Well, I'd encourage you to turn off your computer, come on down to our store, meet us in person, see our demo in person, ride our demo in person, and ask us more questions in person. That's the beauty of our store. You know, we're a brick and mortar operation. You can come down, ask us questions face to face, put your hands on the product, ride the product. We have actual humans here you can talk to. You can also pick up the phone and call us. Our number is 415-441-6294, or you can email us at contact@bigswingandcycles.com, and we're usually pretty quick to respond to any and all emails. So thanks so much for watching our Bionx informational video, and we look forward to seeing you down here at the store soon. Have a great day.